Hi there, a warm welcome to you. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you for responding with yes. Let me welcome the participants first. We have Mesgandinka, Med Abduali, Yaso, Elijah Kano, University Abreha is the first member who joined tonight's live chat. Special welcome to you, University Abreha. Khalif joined, Marcos here, Yakuno, uh, Asfao here. I'm fine, Asfao. Marcos, lost in trance here. Sai, Isfai, Dangaccio joined too. Welcome to Sfai. Relatively new name for me, Tisfai Dangaccio. How long have you been watching Tisfai Dangaccio? How long have you been watching my views and news? What about virus update? Med Abdul is asking. Okay, I have details of the virus update too that I share in live chats on daily basis. So yes, I have a report in today's live chat too. This spy has been watching me since Tigray war. Wow. Thank you for being with me. 5 years. A Khalif also watching for 5 years. We have so many regular viewers. That is the beauty of the channel that people have been watching for almost 5 years now. Uh, these people know me very well, and I know some of them very well, to be honest. That is why I encourage you to write comments. I encourage you to send me emails so that I know who is watching. I know what they want to be done, which improvements do they want, and which piece of information am I missing. All that can happen if you contact me. If you make yourself visible in comment section or through emails. MR Samra here. MMT says Tigray will need to sell their gold to make money. Mulune here. Welcome, Mulune. Mulune is watching me from Guam. My name is Tijar Tinsayo, watching for 5 years. Wow. Majority of the participants watching for 5 years. The Fox says, INSA watches your videos too. Well, I know, by the way. Abel Tesfaye, Simon joined. Yeah, I know that government people, everyone, people from all groups watch me. Mumtaz Hussain here. Uh, People from diplomatic community, diaspora, government people, opposition, armed groups, civilians, all watch me. I mean, people from all these groups, they watch me. Why there is no English news channel about Horn of Africa, about Eritrea and Ethiopia, which makes 4 videos a day? I'm the only one, I think. There's some English channels, but they make 1 video a day, or 1 video in 2 days or 3 days. Uh, Eritrea, Pearl of Red Sea. I'll share updates once I get any reports from Port Sudan. I think Isaac Severki's visit itself is a big development. I mentioned that in last night's live chat. We'll see the impact of this visit after a few days, I think. Alex T watching me for 5 years. Goracha joined too. Well, so many people here who have been watching for 5 years. That's good to hear, by the way. Abel said you should have been a guest analyst on Gitacho's interview. Well, these big news outlets uh, have their agendas too, by the way. And sometimes it's difficult for them to air whatever people say. I am in the habit of just talking to you live, or I just record a video, I upload it. No editing, no cuts. That's what I am used to do. That's what I like to do. So perhaps I'm not the right person to be there. Thank you, Michael Hapto. Yeah, Abel, I agree that neutrality perhaps was missing in that show. Whether you support Abi or you oppose Abi's side had every right to be represented on that show. Firstly, Marburg update. One viewer asked a question about it. Today, 140 tests were conducted in Ethiopia. And today, largest number of tests was conducted in a single day since the outbreak of virus on the 14th of November. No confirmed case found today. No confirmed case was found yesterday. The total number of confirmed cases is still 12. Total number of deaths is 8. 3 died with virus-like symptoms. We can say 11 died so far. Dr. Tedros today confirmed the spread of the virus to Hawassa. In a message a few hours ago, he said that I think he confirmed a death in Hawassa, that a Marburg patient died in Hawassa. So the spread has been confirmed, and lockdown measures have been confirmed too. I said in last night's live chat that for 21 days, lockdown has been imposed, transport ban has been imposed. But this morning, official sources claim that 7-day transport ban has been imposed, but lockdown confirmed in Ari zone, South Ethiopia region, where Jinka is located. So number of tests being conducted is increasing. Luckily, number of confirmed patients is decreasing. Uh, Measures being taken to contain the virus. Let's see what happens. No confirmed case in Addis Ababa. We were asked a question about Addis Ababa. So far, only confirmation is in two areas, Jenka and Havasa. Welcome, Yosedik. Skandar joined to welcome Skandar. Now, second news story about Fano commander. We'll wrap up the live chat in just 10 minutes. Where is Colonel Fantahun? You know, Masrisha surrendered today, confirmed by uh, all the sources now, pro-Fano, pro-government. Masrisha has surrendered. But Masrisha surrendered along with a few men, a few fighters, maybe around 20, I think. It just shows that Masrisha was on his own. And that is why I concluded 2 hours ago in a video that Masrisha's surrender won't be very damaging for Fano. Because Masrisha was without a Fano group. He had no Fano group. He had been kicked out of Gujjam from Gujjam by Zameen Kasi. He was trying to gain a foothold in Shoa. He could not succeed. I think his surrender won't be very significant. He is symbolic, but he is not influential on the ground in Amhara. That's what my analysis is. People might not agree with me. Even Colonel's surrender won't be significant because Colonel's fighters also joined AFNF. But after Masisha's surrender, uh, government backed activists claim that Colonel is under siege. They said one other Fano commander is under siege. They were talking about Colonel, to be honest. Yes, Skandar, Colonel is in Shoa. He's in Wollo Shoa border. In Kalala, I think he's been there. By the way, Mesfin was also seen there. Skandar, Mesfin was seen with Skandar. Mesfin was seen with Colonel. Mesfin has been suspended by AFPO. Masrisha suspended too. Masrisha surrendered. Mesfin might surrender too. Colonel, I think, reconciled because Darsan Birhane intervened. Darsan is another Fano commander, and he mediated between AFNF and AFPO. He is well respected, by the way, among Fano commanders, known for his efforts of reconciliation. So that is why Colonel was not removed from AFPO. But I am still not sure about Colonel's next plan. Fano sources are sharing pictures of Colonel Fantahun with Darsan Berhane and another Fano commander. Pictures are old, by the way, not new pictures. Yes, a colonel met with Darsan Berhane a few days ago, and Darsan Berhane managed to remove colonel's name from the list of Fano commanders who were going to be removed from AFPO. But I am not sure about Colonel Fantahun's next step. So far, he has not surrendered. So far, I cannot say that Colonel will remain part of Fano. Because once you are uh, LXT says, wow, 8 of 12 died. The virus is a killer. Well, I don't know if what you mean. I mean, virus is definitely a killer. Mortality rate is over 80%. Anyway, so I am still not sure that Colonel will stay part of AFPO or not, because his entire group has joined AFNF. He's on his own, just like Masri Shah was on his own, and Masri Shah was left with no option but to surrender. Masfin will also surrender, I think, because Masfin was caught talking to Amhara regional deputy president. I don't know where Masfin is. So the pictures being shared by Fano fighters showing Colonel with Darsan Birhane are old pictures. Let's wait. I think in the next 48 hours, we'll see what Colonel Fantahun's next step is. But let me repeat, whether Colonel surrenders or not, it won't be a big development. Even if Colonel surrenders, it won't be a big blow to Fano groups. Masri Shah, Colonel Mesfin, I don't think that any one of them is very influential in the Amhara region. Yes, if Zamine Ghazi surrenders, Mere Vodajo surrenders, Mekatao surrenders, Mesafin surrenders, Darajibele surrenders, that will be a big blow to Fano. So maybe I think now AFPO and AFNF will find it easy to come together, because these people like Masrija, Mesfin, even Colonel, they have been creating obstacles. Why? Because their fighters turned against them and they lost their foothold in the region. So they were not in support of any alliance between AFPU and AFNF without restoration of their authority on the ground. Now, when they are being removed from Fano, perhaps AFPU and AFNF will make progress to form one regional level command structure in the Amhara region. Gubina says, can government forces weaken Fano? Well, uh, have government forces been able to kill any Fano commander except Uban Tebate? Have they been able to capture any Fano commander? No. Yes, they created divisions in Fano. Yes, they did not allow Fano to enter Addis Ababa. They did not allow Fano to take control of major cities in the margin. Yes, but government forces could not really weaken Fano. At the same time, Fano could not turn into a formidable force to just march towards Addis. So basically a stalemate. But today's Fano is stronger than the Fano of 2023. That I think neutrally, any neutral analyst or observer of the situation in Amhara will conclude that today's Fano is stronger than the Fano of 2023. Now is lastly TPLF's letter to international community. Just give me 5 minutes and let me explain the letter. Then we'll end the live chat. Tigray People Liberation Front has written another letter to international community. The letter says that economic warfare has been unleashed on the people of Tigray. And in the letter, which is addressed to foreign diplomats, members of international community, it was written 2 days ago. There is mention of the areas where armed groups are operating, being trained to fight Tigray forces. Sikota is mentioned, Salemti is mentioned, Afar is mentioned too, and Takazagars in Humera Volga Sagade are mentioned. It means that Tigray Peace Force fighters are based in three locations in Tigray, or close to Tigray. Afar, firstly, secondly, Sikota, and you know that a week ago, less than a week ago, there was a clash but near Sikota between TPF and Tigray military. Thirdly, they're based in Salamti. It was confirmed today, not today, letter was written 48 hours ago. It was confirmed in the letter written by TPF to the national community. Firstly. Secondly, TPLF says that economic warfare has been unleashed on the people of Tigray. Supply of essential goods to Tigray is being restricted. Supply of fuel to Tigray is being restricted. Budget for salaries of the Tigray employees, government employees is being restricted, it's being withheld. Regional budget is being withheld. Uh, Tourists are not being allowed to enter Tigray. Investors are not being allowed to enter Tigray. Foreign diplomats are not being allowed to enter Tigray. So all that amounts to start of economic warfare against the people of Tigray, against Tigray. TPLF is demanding an urgent meeting of African Union High Panel, the panel which has been monitoring the implementation of Pretoria deal. The letter mentions the issue of return of IDPs, status of Humera Volga, the status of TPLF, don't strike on Tigray soldiers in the far region, and other issues. But the crux of this letter is that TPLF is asking international community to intervene. Otherwise, things have reached a breaking point. And now Tigray is under siege from all sides. And with every passing day, the siege is being tightened by the federal government of Ethiopia. So Tigray People Liberation Front wants intervention, diplomatic intervention. That is why the Simdo activities have been paused. Because when Tigray leaders engage international community, especially Western diplomats, international community then questions Tigray leaders that what are they doing on the border with Eritrea? Why are borders being open? Why is that border between Eritrea is not being manned properly? Why is that a military and political alliance has been formed between Tigray and Eritrea without Addis Ababa being on board? So TPLF really has no convincing answers. TPLF cannot say publicly that it is formed an alliance with Eritrea. In fact, publicly, TPLF is denying the formation of any contacts with the federal government with the government of Eritrea. So the Simdo paused, we can say, International community being urged to intervene. African Union, Western diplomats, they're being urged to come to Ethiopia, to come to Tigray to mediate. I think international community will have to step in. They'll have to listen to TPLF's call. If they don't listen to TPLF's call, it means that TPLF will be left with no option. By the way, this letter has confirmed my report. Do you remember what I reported about TPLF's Central Committee meeting? Do you remember? I said, do you remember what I said about what happened at the meeting? I did a special live chat on that. Let me remind you, I reported, I think, 3 to 4 days ago in a live chat. I said I got information from the quarters of TPLF about what happened at the meeting. And I said that there was disagreement between TPLF groups in the meeting. One group was supportive of closer ties with Eritrea, and the other was supportive of engagement with the federal government. And I said that the group which was in support of talks with federal government was in majority. And I said international community will be engaged. TPLF wants to give dialogue another chance. And the writing of this letter has confirmed my report that TPLF has paused the SIMDO. It is contacting international community, waiting for AU, US, EU to intervene and convene a meeting of TPLF and the federal government of Ethiopia. Will that happen? Let's see. Lilo says Marburg is the first killer disease in the world from Gemma University. Bamlako, Babao reported 88% killing. Yeah, uh, the mortality rate is over 80%. Even it was 100% in some countries where it spread. Thank you, Guracha. Skandar says, who do you think will prevail? Well, it's a very difficult question, to be honest. Uh, I think it should not be a matter of who will prevail. I think the two sides will have to make some concessions. Perhaps Tigray will have to make more concessions. Why? The picture which TPLF painted in the letter written to international community is a true picture. People of Tigray are suffering, they'll suffer more if Tigray leaders and federal leaders don't reach an agreement. And people of Tigray don't want any war. They have suffered a lot. Once again, TPLF, the maturity of TPLF leaders and Tigray military channels is being tested. Problem is that they perhaps believe that through flexing of military muscles, they can achieve their objectives and they can force the Ethiopian federal government to consider their demands. So far, it has not worked. The strategy has not worked. Perhaps Gitacho's strategy was better. I mean, he was accused of being Abi's proxy, but at least during Gitacho's presidency, there was no restriction on the flow of essential goods to Tigray. There was no restriction on the flow of fuel to Tigray. And the issue of return of IDPs was being discussed. Uh, Tigray, हमारा leaders were discussing the issue of हमारा मुल्क ऐसा है. Then IDPs returned during Gitacho's tenure. IDPs to Salemti, IDPs to Raya returned. But Gitacho's removal, I think, led to flare up of tensions between Ethiopian federal government and TPLF. And TPLF did not try to cool down the situation. Rather, federal government was not happy with Gitacho's removal. So it was expected that federal government will hit back. And they hit back. TPLF should have tried to re-engage federal government, but TPLF chose the path of aligning with Eritrea. And since then, federal government has been putting more pressure on TPLF. I think TPLF will have to show more restraint and make more concessions. At the same time, if Abiy continues pushing TPLF against the wall, TPLF will have no option but to fight. Geesey says, do a video of Uganda and Kenya. It's getting more interesting. Well, Ruto is handling it very responsibly, I think. So 33 minutes have passed. I think we should end the live chat. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Do express your views, your opinions about 3 topics which I covered in tonight's live chat. I gave you an update about Marburg virus, and then I talked about Colonel Fantahun, Fano commander. At the end, I shared with you what TPLF wrote in a letter to the international community. Thank for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye bye.